What is up, Nerds Nation? Welcome to the Effin' Nerds podcast with the most dynamic duo in all of podcasting. I'm Nick Denizio, and sitting across from me is my dude, Martin Moreno.
What's up, man?
How we doing?
Good.
We got episode 23 coming at you, but before we get started, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe and give us that thumbs up. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please make sure to check back each week as we try to upload new content for you guys to listen to. So, Martin, how was your weekend, man?
It was good.
It was good?
Yeah, spent it with the fam, celebrating my brother's birthday, went to my sister's new house that she bought.
Nice.
And it's a beautiful house. I'm really happy for her and her husband. And then, ate a lot of food.
Yeah, nice.
Must have gained a couple pounds. But to harness back to something we talked about last week, I won in fantasy.
You won in fantasy?
Yeah. Wait, how many leagues are you in?
4.
You're in 4 leagues?
Yeah, I'm doing bad in all of them.
Yeah, so this is the first week this season where I won every league.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So the comeback is in full motion.
It started
in the league that we're in. That's like the big money league.
Right.
So that's where I was really depressed about last week. But I got a good victory. And this week, it's an Effin' Nerds showdown.
Is it really?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's right. And okay. I will say that I got a little bit of an advantage because you got a lot of people on bye. So, yeah. So,
I had a lot of people on bye last week. I have more people on bye this week.
I mean, I love you, bro, but fantasy football, enemies.
We're going to be talking shit all week.
I'm going to be talking shit all week.
All week.
Yeah. And I won't even put like a little vote. Who are you rooting for? We both suck. We both need this win.
We both need to win desperately.
Who are you rooting for?
Desperately need a win. All right. So you want to jump into some podcasting shout-outs?
Not yet, because I want to hear how your weekend was, bro.
I was pretty good. Went to Miller and Kira's. The Killers.
For
a little Oktoberfest, and it was a good time. We got to see everybody and kind of hang out. And because of the coronavirus, we usually do a Friendsgiving every year. Mm-hmm. But we decided, since it's still nice out, let's do an Oktoberfest kind of thing outside with, while the weather's still nice, because we're not going to do a Friendsgiving this year for obvious reasons. And it was fun, man. Same thing, tons of food, ate a lot, drank a lot, watched some football, watched the Giants get a win, which was possibly the ugliest win I think I've ever seen them have. And they've had some ugly wins before. This one was pretty damn bad, but it was.
Bro, as long as you got that dubs.
It was nice to see them get a win. And,
I think Nick Foles said that the so-so teams win pretty, but the good teams, they find a way to win, even if it's ugly. So
yeah,
we gotta listen to Big Dick Nick, bro.
That's one word for it. So, but yeah, other than that, it was a pretty good time.
Cool.
Not too bad. But all right, let's jump into some podcasting shout outs.
I want to give a shout out to all my peeps.
And since you kicked it off last week, I'm gonna kick it off this week, and I'm gonna start with the On Call Pod, and it's Mike and Lowell, and they kind of talk about anything really: news, sports, pop culture, music, films, all kinds of stuff. I've listened to a couple episodes where they talked about the debates, and then just other random shit. Mike is actually a registered nurse.
Ooh.
So he's
Gaylord Fokker.
Yeah, right. So he's had a pretty exciting last couple of months, to say the least.
Oh yeah, man! Thank you. You're the real hero.
Yeah, right.
Your coworkers.
And then the last episode that I just listened to was their most recent. They talked about the top 10 most deadliest actors. So it's the actors that have killed the most in their movies.
Was Sean Bean up there?
No, not the ones that have been killed. The ones that have done the killing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you kind of can guess who's on there. But Martin, can you guess who number 1 is? Because I thought I was going to know who it was, and when I heard the name, I had no fucking clue that this person was going to be number 1.
Well, I mean, the ones that obviously come to mind recently, is like Keanu,
right?
Because of like all the John Wick films. But when I think of like action stars, I think of like Arnie. Mm-hmm. I think of Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sly, a lot of like old school 80s, because that was like different. That was like the real gritty macho man kind of like age in films where they just kill people with their bare hands.
Yes. You know? But what I will say is that the number 1 is not even a man; it's a lady.
Ooh, that is really interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so what lady is out here killing people?
That's what I mean.
Is it Angelina Jolie?
Nope.
I mean, I don't want to drag this on too long, so go ahead. And
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
What?
Lilu Dallas Multipass. It's supposed to be a Fifth Element reference, but
yeah, no. Well, your pronunciation was shit. So
yeah,
that's why
so.
I didn't get it. But
yes, it's Mila Jovovich.
Wow. Wait, so I guess zombies is accounted? Well, I guess that makes sense.
I guess it does, right?
Yeah, I guess between the, what is it, like 7 or 8 Resident Evil films, you're talking about like an insane kill count.
Right.
All in slow motion.
All in slow motion.
With like raindrops and water. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And we're going to get to Mila in a bit. We fucking love her. So
definitely.
So good for you, Mila.
Definitely. But
awesome.
On Call Pod, definitely go check them out. And if you like what you hear, give them a follow.
Because I think you said actors, but I should have known better because the word actor is nonsensical.
See that?
Yeah.
I understood that reference.
My turn.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna kick it off with a Mac movie reviews. It is Kristen and I believe his name is Amir McIver, if I'm not mistaken. But they are very similar to what you just said. They cover a lot of movie news, a lot of different topics. But not just that, but they just have discussions on like it's very film centric, I would say. They have discussions on directors. Kind of similar to us, what we just started doing. They talk about their physical media and things like that.
This might actually be the worst DVD collection I've ever seen in my entire life.
And they have this really one cool segment, which I'm really apologize. I'm drawing a blank right now on what the segment is called, but it's essentially someone who goes into like a dollar store. And they go through like the Blu-ray section of the dollar store. And it's like the bargain deal, so to speak. So they're like looking for like
it's almost like when you go into Walmart and you dig through like the $5 bin.
Like, what can you get there? We actually
find?
When we went to get the massage gun not too long ago, we actually did that. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
We were like in the Best Buy.
There were some gems.
There was some serious gems in there.
There
was some, so it's fun to listen to those kinds of things and what real sort of movie lovers come across because. Like I said, they're a little similar to us in regards to some of the topics they cover, and it's fun to kind of listen to other people's perspective on certain things, especially when it's something very similar to what we're doing. So for example, the most recent episode, I'm not gonna say any names, but one of them isn't too thrilled about live action Spider-Verse.
No way! You gotta be kidding! That's not right!
All right.
Wow.
And we're over here like fucking losing our minds.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about.
It's that,
so it's that kind of situation where you get to hear different people's takes and different points of views on similar topics and things like that. So definitely go check them out. We will put all the info like usual, and I'll kick it off with them.
Awesome. So the next one I got is Comic Book Couples Counseling. So this is with Brad and Lisa, and they're married. And they explore the the dynamics of comic book relationships. So like couples in comic books.
Oh, that's awesome.
So like the one episode I listened to was The Trench, and it was obviously focused on Arthur and Mira.
That's actually oh my god, you're gonna get me really sweaty right now, bro. No, because that's a really good focus. That's a really good sort of what is it? I guess focus.
Yeah.
A really good attention on their relationship because. That was kind of like the reboot to like New 52 and everything, and that's just when Mira, because Mira's very like hard-willed, so she's all about her sort of Atlantean culture,
right?
So it's all about like I understand what you're trying to do, but fuck this because I could really dive into.
I know.
That's awesome.
It's honestly a really awesome podcast. Like the episodes that I listened to, like they don't just talk about the relationship, but they also talk about like the history. So they did go into the whole how New 52 is rebooted, where it's what was before New 52?
Before New 52 was, I don't know. It's actually a great question. I think it was. I don't really recall.
Well, whatever it officially was before New 52, they talked about how that ended and went into New 52, and they did a whole like deep dive into it. So it's really cool because they kind of give like the background just on the comics, and they gave history of like Aquaman, and it was really cool. It was really cool to listen to, and if you're a comic book fan, it's an awesome listen. And Brad and Lisa are also contributors to Film School Rejects, with Brad, who's also, I think he's like the senior head of One Perfect Shot.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool. And because it was Brad, I think it was Brad or Lisa, I think they both kind of split time doing like the Twitter account, but they hit us up and they were like, hey, we just checked out your episode and we wrote you guys a review. And like, check out our stuff. And it's like, oh, cool. Yeah, definitely.
My back was great.
It definitely.
The funny thing about my back is that it's located on my cock.
So that was kind of how we got it. And I was talking with them, and I mentioned like, oh, I noticed you guys contribute to Film School Rejects, and I said, I really do enjoy the One Perfect Shot. One Perfect Shot was a big help when I was putting together my my video for greatest shots of all time. And just,
shameless plug
for that. And yeah, so I just want to say, like, I loved your guys' work and everything. And yeah, and they also do a fantastic podcast, and it's, it's one, if you're a comic book fan, it's absolutely,
I'm 100% going to check that out.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Especially like you said, like that relationship is really great, and Mira's sort of arc through those first 6 issues,
right,
is really, really good.
Yeah, and because like they're married, they kind of bring their own perspectives into it as well. So that's also fun to see.
That's awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out, especially because I'm a huge comic book fan. So
yeah, absolutely
definitely going to check that out. The next one I'm going to do is actually, before I get into this next one, I just want to say that I'm only going to shout out 2 today because I'm finally somewhat caught up on all the podcasts that we listen to.
Right.
So
and that's a pretty extensive list.
It's a pretty extensive list. And so now I was able to finally go and maybe check out some new people, which I got now a whole nother extensive list of new people I'm going to check out. But I got caught up on like 1 or 2 episodes of Mac Movies. And these next people are that I'm going to shout out are Cards with Esther and Rachel. And not to sound like an asshole, but it's tough to keep track of the notifications. Mm-hmm. But they're like, because we get a lot sometimes. Again, not to sound like an asshole, but I always kind of saw their profile.
Yes, they pop up a lot.
Yeah, they popped up a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, so I was fine. I always wanted to like kind of like check them out and get a little familiar with them. And like I said, they've been very supportive, always liking our stuff for a while now. So I was finally able to check them out, and it's a lot of fun. So essentially, what they do, they do card games, and so their podcast is centered around some card games that they do,
right.
And they always have like different guests. Always have a great dynamic, always a great discussion. It's a really fun energy, especially now with everything that's going on with quarantine.
Right.
It's like a different type of like sort of mood or vibe that you get from a lot of the
and it's like what did they play like card game wise, like what's the
I haven't heard of half these card games.
Well, that's why I was curious. I was like, do they play like obscure stuff, or do they play like faint like stuff people would know,
well, like I said, I just got sort of familiar with them.
Right,
so I listened to 1 episode. I don't even know, I never heard of that card game. But it's mostly mature card games.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, but so it does get a little
raunchy,
a little late night, so to speak. Yeah. Every now and then they do kind of have some kind of kid friendly shit, so to speak. But I really had a good time listening to them.
Nice.
And like I said, especially now with everything that's going on, I think that's a really sort of great podcast to check out because it almost kind of makes you want to play along.
Yes.
And it kind of gives you that sort of feeling of like connection and sort of, if you're, for whatever reason, if maybe you're struggling through quarantine or anything like that, you kind of, you can literally just kind of play along and, kind of have some fun and almost be part of this group of friends that are playing games.
And that is how you do a game night.
What?
That is really cool.
Yeah,
that's a really cool thing. Yeah,
so
I like that.
So thank you for the support, because like I said, they've been following us for a while, I believe, and always liking and supporting us. So thank you for that. And I'm excited to check out more of their episodes.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the last one I have is the Paul and Griff Show. And Paul and Griff, I think we kind of connected with them through the Best Film Ever podcast, which shout out Best Film Ever podcast. I think they gave us another shout out on their last episode. Yeah, I mean those
the never-ending circle of shout outs.
It's just it's an awesome circle to go through. But I do love those guys, and yeah, Paul and Griff kind of found them through them. And they've always kind of supported us. They've given us a lot of likes and retweets, and finally I got to listen to their show. And which one do I single out? I single out the show where they talk about Michael Keaton's Batman, 1989, and they do like a deep dive into it. But just for their show in general, they do kind of like us. They do film news. They obviously like they kind of broke down and dissected 1989 Batman. And then they do a top 6. And obviously on this one, they kept it, Batman friendly. And they did their rankings of the top 6 on-screen Batman. And
which is what Marvelous Cinema did. So I would probably recommend them to check them out.
Yeah. But yeah, there was a little bit of controversy, at least for me, for where they did some of their rankings. And I wouldn't have agreed with how they did it, but was
Batfleck not in there? Is that
no? Batfleck was in there.
He was in there. Okay. Actually, see, like I said, it's always cool to see people's
yes, exactly. That's what I mean.
To harness back to Mac movie reviews, they had the one episode a long time ago where they did not like Batfleck's suit.
Yes.
What?
We both lost our shit.
Like, what the fuck?
We were like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
but,
so
it's always in good fun.
There was a little bit of me shaking my head, what the fuck, when they were doing their rankings, but it was all in good fun, and it was cool hearing about their experience with Michael Keaton's first Batman movie, and just talking about it. And like if you like movies, if you like, you know, the kind of things that we talk about, they're definitely an excellent podcast to check out. And, you know, Paul and Griff, thank you guys for, you know, at any time that you've liked our stuff, retweeted our stuff. It's, you know, it's always nice to support other podcasts. And,
of course. And I actually just had a conversation with someone about that today, about sort of networking. Mm-hmm. And that's always like fun to see, to kind of check out podcasts that you're like, check out mutual friends podcasts.
Yeah.
You know, so see what other people are shouting out, see what other people are listening to, check those people out and sort of create conversations, interactions. And if it's something that is similar to what you're doing, whether it's like, you know, like a movie podcast or like a political podcast, regardless,
right?
Check those out and see what other people are saying, what other people's sort of point of views are on topics that you're interested in, and just kind of create conversation interactions. And that's kind of like a way to also network. Yeah, absolutely. For anyone who's curious. Yeah, definitely. Because we get those questions sometimes. Yeah. Just kind of putting that out there.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, and that's our podcast shoutouts of the week. So now we're going to dive into the news of October 12th, the 18th. So we're going over last week's news, and we're going to kick it off with some trailer talk, because it doesn't matter the theaters are closed, Martin. Trailers, they just keep on fucking coming.
And I just want to say something real quick. This is a little bit nostalgic because we're shooting at night.
Yes, we haven't done this in a long time.
We haven't done a night shoot, so to speak, in a while.
It's been probably pre-quarantine, I think.
Pre-quarantine, we kind of first started, and also because like if we were to shoot at like 6 p.m. regularly, like during the summer, it's so bright as fuck.
Right.
Now that we're getting to the fall, like the sunset's a little earlier, so
it's dark out right now.
It's a nice mood right now.
I know.
I'm liking this sort of throwback, nostalgic energy.
I'm definitely digging
enjoying this. Yeah.
Definitely digging it. All right, Martin. So like I said, we're gonna kick it off with some trailer talk, and we got the first official trailers for Monster Hunter, Jungle Land, 9 Days, and Hillbilly Elegy.
Oh my god, let's fucking do this.
Lots of trailers. So let's just jump right in. I'm gonna start reading some IMDb
facts,
plot synopsis
that Bob kindly went over and shrunk it down to sentences. Good job.
Yep. All right, here we go. When Lieutenant Artemis and her loyal soldiers are transported to a new world, they engage in a desperate battle for survival against enormous enemies with incredible powers. Monster Hunter is a feature film that's based on the video game by Capcom, and it stars Mila Jovovich, Ron Perlman, and Tony Jaa, and is scheduled to hit theaters later this year in December. Moving on, a reclusive man conducts a series of interviews with human souls for a chance to be born. 9 Days stars Winston Duke, Zazie Beetz, and Bill Skarsgård, and is scheduled for a 2021 theatrical release date after premiering at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year. A Yale law student drawn back to his hometown grapples with family history, Appalachian values, and the American dream. Hillbilly Elegy stars Glenn Close and Amy Adams, and is scheduled to be released in select theaters and on Netflix on November 24th, 2020. And lastly, a reluctant bare-knuckle boxer and his manager/brother must travel across the country for one last fight, but an unexpected travel companion exposes the cracks in their bond along the way. Jungle Land, which stars Charlie Hunnam and Jack O'Connell, is scheduled for a limited theatrical run on November 6, 2020, before dropping on VOD on November 10th, 2020.
Boom. Nicholas Inizio, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Martin,
yes,
out of all those trailers... Although I have to admit, I really like all these trailers.
I was about to say that.
I really like all these trailers.
I was literally going to be like, bro, there's something I have to say about all these. Do you kind of want to briefly go through all of them?
Yeah, let's briefly go through them. All right, so we'll start with Monster Hunter.
Quick, keep it short and and sweet.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Okay, well, for starters, we got that little teaser like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yes.
If you remember.
I do remember, yeah.
And that fucking teaser to me was a Forky and Woody meme. Only it was Resident Evil and Monster Hunter.
You're just like me. Trash.
Just did not care for it. However,
then this full trailer comes out.
I will be honest. This trailer got me a little sold. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of liked it.
Pretty good. It's pretty good.
I think I'm mostly sold on the production value.
Yeah.
Because the monsters look really cool. You know me. I'm a big creature.
You love your monsters.
I'm a big monster slut. I love creature features, and I got some kaiju Pacific Rim flavors here. They looked really cool. They were really well rendered. The special effects look really good. It's got a $60 million budget. it was shot in Cape Town, South Africa. So on location, on set, remote shooting, which is always fun. However,
we do love the practicality.
However, it was only like a 2-month shoot.
Oh,
which tells me that there's not a lot of story here.
Nope.
It's just gonna be a dumb movie about
fighting big monsters.
Which I guess is cool.
Yeah.
Like, why not turn my brain off, enjoy some popcorn, and watch this movie? It does look ridiculous. I will say, like, I don't understand how these people got these fucking weapons. Like out of nowhere. I don't know. I've never played the game, so I don't know it.
Well, I know people that are fans of the game.
Yeah.
Hate it because they say it's nothing like the game.
That's not my Monster Hunter. Those fucking nerds.
He said it.
Yeah. I mean, it's Mila Jovovich, and she has 2 fucking giant axes, and she's chasing after monsters, and it honestly looks like a blast. It's probably going to be trash. It's Paul W.S. Anderson, who does not
all
make
the Resident Evil movies.
all the Resident Evil movies, which got progressively worse as they went on. But I do love Mila Jovovich. I love to see her kick ass. So sure, why not? Let's go for a ride. I'm in on this. I'm definitely on this. All right, moving on to 9 Days. Not gonna lie, might be my favorite trailer of the year.
Really?
This trailer
better than Batman?
You need to relax.
Maybe not better than Batman, but this trailer definitely had me. It sold me on its premise. It looks to be like these people have died and they're now in limbo, and Winston Duke is kind of like assessing them.
Yeah, maybe like a kind of the whole notion of like rebirth or like reincarnation.
Yes. Well, have you ever seen? It's a movie with Albert Brooks. I think it's called Defending My Life.
I don't think so. No.
All right, so it's a comedy, and it's where Albert Brooks dies. It's him and Meryl Streep. So they're basically in like this like limbo, but it's kind of like a resort. Like it's a really fun movie that plays on like the afterlife, but you basically get judged, and if you led a good life, you get to move on to, I guess, heaven, and if you don't, you get reincarnated and you have to go back.
Suck my dick! What did I do? Take me back!
So it's a really fun premise.
It's almost like the spot beforehand.
Yes, exactly. But this movie seems like it's way more dramatic. It's nowhere near as fun. They're in like this like desert at like this random house.
Yeah, this feels like a Charlie Kaufman movie.
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's very interesting. The cast is incredible. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. It was really great.
I am too. Also, it was really weird hearing Bill Skarsgård with like a straight up like American accent.
Just being normal.
And just being like normal, yeah.
Well, obviously, I keep bringing up villains.
I know, yeah.
You know, but still in villains,
Yeah.
he gets a little nuts.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but yeah, this is just this kind of is gonna harness back to the remaining trailers in regards to Hillbilly Elegy, Jungleland, and these sort of smaller budget, story focused, character driven films.
Right.
I love.
Yeah.
I'm a big sucker for, and this is. I'm excited to see what Winston Duke is going to kind of do in this because
he's leading it.
He's leading it, and this has this has Oscar flavor written all over it.
I mean, it does, and with the Oscar window, I guess, extended. So movies that come out in early 2021 now are going to count, and this movie I think right now it has a tentative date in January.
All these movies that we're going to get into are essentially being dumped off for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they have it all over the
right.
That.
All right, we'll move on to Hillbilly Elegy now, and this obviously directed by Ron Howard,
who can be hit or miss.
This trailer was definitely Oscar baity as fuck because it had that just like big grand epic music and like, you know,
Terminator references.
Just hasta la vista, baby.
How many times have you seen this?
Oh, about 100.
Well, the Terminator, that was really cool. I really did enjoy that, but just like you know, both Amy Adams and Glenn Close just fucking giving it all like 100%. Like it looks like they're really going for Oscars in this one.
Actually, you know that these three movies, so I kind of harness back to it. These three movies, 9 Days, Hillbilly Elegy, and Jungleland. These movies are going to destroy us. I just fucking know it.
I know.
Like I said, Charlie Kaufman vibes, like 9 Days. I'm picturing like being John Malkovich or like Eternal Sunshine. I'm sorry, of the Spotless Mind. Like I like in a way emotionally, I feel like all these movies are going to destroy us.
I think so too. Yeah.
I fucking love this trailer for Hillbilly Elegy. I thought it was incredible. You know me, I'm still not over Glenn Close getting snubbed. I saw The Wife. I couldn't believe how much I liked it. It was one of my favorite films of that year, and I thought Glenn Close should have gotten that Oscar. I love Doris.
Yep.
Nice one, Doris.
Nothing like a bit of girl on girl.
Love Doris. She was great in The Favorite, but that wasn't hers.
Well, you know what's funny about this is that there could be a potential Oscar rematch for the Best Supporting Actress category, because Glenn Close would go in for Supporting Actress, and Olivia Colman is looking like she's going to get nominated for The Father, which is a movie with her and Anthony Hopkins.
Which is because it looked like this was more Amy Adams' story from the trailer.
Yeah, well, she's probably the lead.
Okay, well, regardless, we both sort of have it locked in that they're both going to get noms.
Yes.
I'm already kind of I'm already throwing that out there. Amy Adams just
dude, she needs
girl,
it, man. She's gotten
give
snubbed
it to her,
so
bro.
many times.
Just give it to her. Like how many? I don't even know how many times she's been nominated.
I still can't forgive the Academy for not even nominating her for Arrival.
How dare you?
Well, yeah, but she's incredible, and I think she deserves it. Obviously, we'll see, and we haven't seen the movie. We don't know really the whole sort of competition right now.
Right.
I would just say, just give it to her.
I know. At this point, just give it to her.
But I'm rooting for both these people.
Yeah,
and I really
absolutely.
like the trailer.
Absolutely. All right, and on to the last trailer, Jungle Land. Bare knuckle boxing. Rough relationship with brothers. Already, it has me sold. I'm already definitely in on this. Charlie Hunnam and Jack O'Connell. I love that casting for them being brothers because they kind of have a very similar vibe, very similar energy. And it looks good, man. I mean, like it has like your kind of classic, boxing cliches, but it looks like it's gonna get a little heavy,
a little dark,
yeah. And what's his name is also in this too. Lovecraft Country, Kang.
Oh, yes, Joe. Why am I thinking of Joe?
Hold on, let me look this up.
John Majors.
Yes, it's Jonathan Majors. So he's now in this too. So looks awesome. I'm in on this.
Right. This to me looks like if Out of the Furnace and the fighter had a baby.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what it looks like. And Jonathan Majors is like the Woody Harrelson role, like this sort of like this.
Yeah, he's the heavy.
This bad guy kind of pulling strings, doing some shit because, like you said, it does look like it's gonna get dark. It does look like third episode in a row. It's kind of gritty. I hate that word, but whatever. But yes, I'm with you. I really enjoy the casting. I'm not too crazy on Charlie Hunnam.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a fine actor. I think he was really being sold as this next big star, kind of like during the Sons of Anarchy times.
Right.
But I don't really think it kind of panned out that way. However, in this, like you were saying, I think him and Jack O'Connell, just what I got from this trailer, look like they have a really good dynamic, and I think they really kind of complement each other very well.
Right.
And I think they're going to both elevate each other's performances and really sort of drive this movie. So I think this is something that's really going to show off what sort of Charlie Hunnam could do.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to move on to some movie announcements. So Michael B. Jordan has announced that he will produce a Static Shock movie through his Warner Brothers-based Outlier Society banner, and Ridley Scott is teaming up with his Gladiator star Joaquin Phoenix for Kit Bag, an epic historical drama about the life of Napoleon.
Sweet.
All right, so Martin, out of these two, what sticks out to you?
Nothing really.
Nothing really?
No, I don't really care for yours. I mean, I will say that I am that it's cool for Michael B. Jordan to produce this film because this is kind of like a fan favorite at this point, Static Shock, and representation, what we always talk about. And I'm happy, and it's cool to see that he's sort of using his platform to sort of bring representation in superhero films. And good for him. Like that's really awesome.
Yeah.
As far as for the Kit Bag movie, Ridley Scott to me has just not really I know we just did Steelbook Sunday for The Martian, but I think a lot of the good in The Martian was credited to like Drew Goddard and what was left before him, because he kind of came on very late, and I think all he had to do was really steer the ship because they made like a last minute directorial change. So, however, the fact that Joaquin Phoenix is involved does kind of have me a little interested because he, for the most part, picks good projects.
Right.
And really is busy, bro. He's doing the Christian Bale movie.
Right.
Then I believe he's doing the Lady Gaga Gucci movie in March.
Yes.
And then he's doing this.
Yeah, he doesn't stop, man.
He doesn't stop. He's fucking 82. Like, the guy's a fucking machine.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
But yeah, I'll see how these other movies come out, and maybe that'll get me a little bit more excited. But
yeah,
that's kind of my 2 cents on this.
I mean, like I feel like Kit Bag is one of those movies where it's like you're not really gonna get excited for it until you see the first trailer. Like usually like these historical dramas you hear about, you're like, all right, cool, and then when you actually see it, it's like, oh, okay, this actually looks pretty awesome. So the fact that, like you said, with Joaquin Phoenix teaming back up with Ridley Scott, and it's like a nice Gladiator reunion, yeah, I'm in on that. And yeah, for Static Shock, cool. I mean, like, I'm curious to see who they cast as Static Shock, and you know, it's
and just what, because I know they made an announcement at DC Fandom, didn't they? That there was that a movie was in development. The Static Shock film was in development.
They announced that there were some movies in development, but they didn't say what. And I think that this was probably going to be the one that they were going to announce, but maybe for whatever reason the deal wasn't done yet, so they just wanted to wait until it actually was, so they could properly announce it. So here we go. Well, there it is. All right, I guess, yeah, but now we can move on to some, like, I guess, like, miscellaneous news.
I gotta say, I low-key love the miscellaneous news.
The miscellaneous news,
like,
yeah.
Here's a bunch of random shit.
Just random ass shit, absolutely. So, first off, we got Coming to America, the sequel, Coming to America, which is in the process of being sold by distributor Paramount Pictures to Amazon Studios in a deal worth roughly $125 million, with an expected streaming premiere date of December 18th, 2020. And then moving on to Chris Hemsworth confirmed that in a recent interview that Thor: Love and Thunder will begin shooting in January of 2021. Cool. Chippendales, a film which has been in development for nearly 2 decades, is now going to star Dev Patel and has found its director in I, Tanya's Craig Gillespie, yeah, Craig Gillespie, who did an awesome job directing I, Tanya, so that's exciting to see. And then we have AMC Entertainment, which now they're saying that their cash is going to be largely depleted by the end of the year and are exploring asset sales, joint ventures, and minority investments. Well, all right, Martin.
We'll also say that oh yeah, actually we were about to kick it off to me, so I guess I'll go ahead and say my 2 cents. I don't really care about most of this. Coming to America 2, going to Amazon, cool. Streaming wars,
I know.
It continues.
It's going.
Chris Hemsworth, Thor's going to start shooting soon, cool. AMC Entertainment, the whole situation with that going on. Something interesting that came out recently as well was that studio said they have no interest in buying theaters.
Yes.
So that puts it in an even worse situation.
I don't believe it, though.
No, but to kind of back that up, Disney also kind of came out and said that they're going to focus more on streaming content. So
yep.
So we don't know what's going on. It's not looking good for theaters. I know we keep saying that, but I feel like we're going to keep saying that for the foreseeable future. Now on to what I really want to talk about, Chippendales. Now, this film, like you said, has been in development for nearly 2 decades. Actually, when I looked into it, Dev Patel actually signed on like in 2017.
So he's been signed on this long?
Yeah, so it hasn't had really like a director yet.
Wow.
I haven't heard much of this movie about this film, but like you said, I, Tanya's Craig Gillespie just signed on. And let me give you a quick backstory on the character that Dev Patel is playing. Mm-hmm. So the movie is a focus around Salman Banerjee. I apologize if I probably butcher that. But he was an Indian-American entrepreneur and co-founder of Chippendales. It's a kind of rags to riches story. Came over from India, started working at like a gas station, and slowly kind of built his equity, so to speak. And he bought a famous, a failing Los Angeles nightclub called the Destiny 2. That he turned into like he started off with female mud wrestling and female exotic dancing nights, so to speak. And then from then on, he started introducing like the male stripper aspects and all that stuff. So it's a cool rags to riches story from the beginning. Yeah. But now there's just so much fucking drama that goes into that. So one of his partners was Nick Denoy, who murdered a playmate. And that sort of situations of him murdering a playmate, there were 2 movies made about that, which is fucking crazy. And not to mention that, but he ordered later on in his career, he ordered hits on former Chippendales dancers and former choreographers because he saw them as competition.
This is wild.
It's a fucking
this is a crazy
story. He was involved with some bad people, made really bad decisions, but it's but this story is just insane, and I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, if we see what Craig Gillespie, he's done other films too, like he did the Fright Night remake.
Yep.
He did Finest Hours with Chris Pine and Kevin Costner. So, but however, I, Tanya, that was a sort of biopic, so to speak, that shed a light on a lot of the sort of troubled situations that happened in Tanya Harding's life.
Right.
Kind of similar to this.
Yeah.
So he's had some experience with a similar project already, and he did a really good job in it. Really good job on it. So I'm excited what he's going to do with this.
I would agree, and if looking at I, Tanya, how it kind of takes like just a wild story and finds ways to inject comedy into it. So I would assume you can kind of expect a similar thing with Chippendales, how it's going to kind of be just this insane story, and it's probably going to be somewhat hilarious at just how insane
I'm getting like Wolf of Wall Street vibes.
Yeah,
of him
definitely.
Just like, or even like Goodfellas when he's like, when he hasn't slept, he's freaking out.
Yeah,
he's like, sees a helicopter.
I'm freaking out right now, man.
And us being former Chippendales dancers, we have a sort of relatability. It's like a relatable aspect that we. Hey, these microphones didn't pay for themselves.
That's very true. It's very true.
So yeah, that's a kind of like a relatable factor that we have.
Yeah. And then just real quick, Coming to America, I am really excited for it. I was really hoping a trailer would drop so that we could actually talk about it on here, but it didn't. But I have really high hopes for this. It's the same team that did Dolomite Is My Name. So, comedy sequels are really hard to come by, but with the crew involved, I got my fingers crossed for that one.
And you almost expected they had a lot of time to think about it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to get into our main topics here, and we're going to kick it off with Adam McKay's new film, which has assembled an insane cast. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Hamish Patel, and Timothée Chalamet will join Jennifer Lawrence, Cate Blanchett, Rob Morgan, and Kid Cudi in Adam McKay's new Netflix comedy, Don't Look Up. Written and directed by McKay, the film centers on two low-level scientists who, upon discovering that a meteor will strike the Earth in 6 months, go on a media tour to try to warn the world, but find an unresponsive and unbelievable populace. The film is scheduled to start shooting in Boston next month with no confirmed release date as of now, but expected to probably drop sometime in 2021.
You had to throw Kid Cudi in there, didn't you?
I did have to throw Kid Cudi in there. How'd you not? How did fucking Bob not put him in the notes?
Because Bob's a fucking asshole.
Oh, Jesus, man.
But I was going to say that, along with Kid Cudi, it's like Ariana Grande and other smaller names,
right,
which people are assuming are going to play the Margot Robbie role from The Big Short.
Right.
So, because he even says a small role.
Yes.
So we imagine they're going to cut away to them like Ariana Grande or Kid Cudi, and they're going to kind of give a
little deposition on what's going on.
On what's going on exactly.
But we are big Kid Cudi fans, so I had to give him a shout out.
Of course.
Really happy to see him in this. But, dude, man, well, first of all, I didn't know what the premise was. So reading it here, I love the premise. And this cast is just fucking insane. Nice little Wolf of Wall Street team up again with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill.
Mm-hmm. With loots. They're on my ass. Don't worry about it. I got it. Thank God.
And then just everybody else, man. It's just, I don't know what to expect, but it's probably going to be awesome.
Yeah, to be honest, it's kind of reminded me of Fun with Dick and Jane. Okay, because so it's rumored that Leo and Jennifer Lawrence are going to play the two scientists.
Okay, nice.
So this whole notion of an unresponsive populace, I think, is also kind of a jab as to what's going on nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
How there's a lot of shit going on and people want to believe what they want to believe,
right,
or how people want to follow a certain point of view.
And they won't listen to science.
Exactly.
What is wrong with these people?
Nothing. They're good Americans. Hey, Lemon, check this out. I just made it up. The 3 B's. Beers, boats, and buds. Doesn't that sound great?
You know how in Fun with Dick and Jane when they kind of go and they start doing all the crazy heist stuff?
Yes.
And they slowly start going a little nuts?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of picturing this with them. Of I think that's where a lot of the comedy's gonna be.
Yeah,
them just you fucking people, wake up! Why aren't you listening? And them arguing and bantering within each other.
Yes.
So confused and confounded by the fact that people aren't paying attention, or people won't buy into science. Mm-hmm. And yeah, just this sort of I guess it's sort of evolution in recent years of Leo kind of going into comedy has been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say that it kind of first started with Calvin Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of Tarantino movies have an underlying comedic tone for the most part.
I would say so.
Yeah. In the way that he writes his characters and the way he sort of directs.
Yes.
To even something as when he's oh, I shot Marvin in the face. Something
there's darkly fun. His movies are almost dark comedies.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. And he obviously started off with that. He did Wolf of Wall Street, which Wolf of Wall Street was after Django, right? I believe Django was 2013.
Yes.
And then,
No, Wolf of Wall Street was 2013. Django, I think, was 2012.
Okay, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now obviously with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again, which has those sort of great comedic elements. So this, to me, sounds like it's going to be a full-on comedy. And obviously, knowing Adam McKay and his sensibility, you can tell there's gonna be a lot of improvisation going on.
Oh yeah,
and yeah, this is really fun. I'm really excited to get a first look at it. So
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on to another project that I'm really excited about. I think it's been in development for a really long time, and I think it's finally getting going. So Warner Brothers is in advanced development with Furiosa, a Mad Max Fury Road spin-off feature that will reveal the origins of Furiosa. Ann Taylor-Joy is set to play the title role, with Chris Hemsworth and Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second co-starring. Miller will direct, co-write, and produce the standalone film with his longtime producing partner Doug Mitchell through their Australian-based Kennedy Miller Mitchell banner. Woo! All right, so I'm really excited for this, man. I think this is gonna be really cool. I love the casting for Yvonne Taylor-Joy. She's
the smoke show of the week.
She is the smoke show of the week. And she's been hitting home runs consistently. So I think this is a really nice big break for her.
She's kind of become the new sort of screen queen, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of sort of horror roles that she's had in the past couple of years, and yeah, she's really splashed onto the scene. She's incredible. Everything I've seen her in so far, I've enjoyed her. Not all the movies, because New Mutants was trash.
Yeah.
But I like Trans Magic.
Yeah.
I thought she was great.
Yep.
And yeah, this is an interesting cast. We got a lot of superheroes. Like you said, we got Magic, we got Thor, we got Black Manta. So a nice little
or Dr. Manhattan, depending on how you want to.
Dr. Manhattan, exactly. So yeah, this is really fun. I really like this casting, and I'm excited to sort of see this new take on. Because for all intents and purposes, the Mad Max Fury Road was a new take on the Mad Max franchise.
Yes.
So now I'm excited to see this other sort of new take on this franchise that's really been created by George Miller.
And kind of like world building a little bit, kind of expanding out that universe, because, obviously we've had 4 movies that have... Well, because Mad Max Fury Road is kind of like a dual kind of thing where it's Max and Furiosa, but it's been with Max. So to me, this is such an interesting world that Miller has kind of created, this like post-apocalyptic kind of desert kind of feel to it, and so I really am excited that he's going to kind of expand upon this, and I really do love the casting. Chris Hemsworth, outside of Thor, has not had a whole lot of luck with kind of like other projects that he's picked.
No.
There's some stuff that he's done that's been really good. Like I love him in Rush.
Yeah, that's kind of like the only one that I harness back to, or some of his smaller comedic roles.
Right. Like he is really funny. Like he really has a good.
I think he's just naturally charismatic.
Yeah,
and really has that good, like you said, good comedic timing. So yeah, I'm excited what he's going to do in this, because obviously, he's got the action pack thing down.
Definitely. And the fact that this shoots in Australia, so I'm assuming he's gonna, it's his home country.
That must be personally nice for him.
Yeah, definitely.
And same thing, Yahya. Like they're both like you can make the argument that they're both like great action stars.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're going to bring a serious physicality to this movie. But yeah, I think Yahya has, I would say in terms of acting, I think he's probably made better choices.
Yeah, and he's also crushing it right now too.
Yeah,
he's killing it now.
Yeah, but he's really displayed what he can do as an actor.
Oh yeah, he's definitely picked different projects to show, like done in different genres and things like that to show his range.
So I think he's going to do a great job, no problem. I'm really excited to see what Chris Hemsworth is going to bring to this. And like you said, just the world building of the Mad Max sort of universe, and yeah, this is a prequel. So how far back are we going to go?
Right.
Obviously,
Anna Taylor-Joy, she's young, so I would assume pretty far back. Like maybe we'll see like the green place before.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like
I'm
thinking of seeing oceans. More sort of. Me, I love nature.
Okay, let's paint in a few little happy trees there.
Seeing more nature and seeing what he's going to introduce to this, because it's really interesting, man. George Miller hasn't really done much.
He's kind of given a lot of space in between projects. Like obviously, he's got the 4 Mad Max movies. He's got 2 Babe movies. One Babe movie, 2 Happy Feet. Yep, that's right.
Which is crazy.
And then he's got Witches of Eastwick with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah. Was that Cher?
Yeah, Cher.
Cher, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Which I've pretty much seen every single Michelle Pfeiffer and Sandra Bullock movie, because growing up, my family was huge. Sandra Bullock.
Wait, so you've seen One Fine Day
with George Clooney and Mae Whitman? How fucking I have, bro.
Yep.
My mom hates your dad. So my dad hates your mom.
Just want to know if you're wearing panties.
Huh? I love that movie. That movie was a repeat growing up. That movie's awesome. Actually, I haven't seen it in a really long time.
It's been a while.
So I don't know, but that was like when like VCRs were a thing. So you would put in the tape and you would record it. So we would like order these movies on pay-per-view and then record it and just watch it over and over again.
Yeah, hell yeah.
When I was your age, television was called books.
But yeah, I believe Amanda P was in that too. She was the wife.
Yes, I think she was.
She was the effing nerds knowledge baby. But yes, this is a fun project that we're really looking forward to. This cast is incredible. And yeah, I just want to see what else George Miller is going to bring to this universe.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree on that. And just in revisiting Mad Max, like that world and everything. It's exciting to see. I know George Miller, I think he wrote this like after Fury Road came out, but the reason why it got hung up for so long is because he was actually in some sort of legal battle with Warner Brothers over, I think, distribution of funds or something like that.
Really?
But they were in a legal battle for a long time because like apparently it was originally said after Fury Road like won a ton of Oscars that he had the Furiosa spinoff and then he had a sequel, which I think was going to be called Mad Max Wasteland. So
I think that's still happening.
I think it's still happening too.
Right.
So hopefully that does still happen because, you know, George Miller's getting up there in age, man. You know what I mean? Like he's, you know,
but he gave us one of the greatest movies.
He's still crushing it. Like I can't, like at his age, man, what kind of director could deliver Mad Max Fury Road at, you know,
right
at that age, man? It's just it
one of the greatest,
just blows me away.
One of the greatest movies of the decade, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah,
I know there are people out there who know way more than us, and we're probably like a very small. But to me, and some people might laugh at us, whatever. But to me, there's so many moments in that film where I'm like, this is cinema.
Yes.
Like,
this
absolutely.
Is
Cinema.
Yeah.
And like the guy is just a genius. Like you said, his filmography is very is interesting. It's very interesting. But what he's given us in this film is something that is going to be talked about for a very long time. And just to kind of rephrase what I said, I'm just looking forward to some more of that world building.
Yeah, definitely. All right, and last but not least, we have been waiting to talk about this all week. We have the Batman set photos and videos that have been dropping. Obviously, they're shooting in Liverpool. They're shooting in Chicago. And yeah, man. There's really not much else to say. Let's just
looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Obviously, you know, we kind of started off with the funeral for a senator, and it had like every major cast there, like major person that was in the cast. We got our first look at John Turturro, who plays Carmine Falcone. We got a really good look at Colin Farrell as the Penguin, who just it still blows my mind just the makeup that's been done on him.
Different.
Yeah, it looks completely different. And then obviously we had Selena Kyle there. We had Bruce Wayne there. And
Emo Batman.
They're
talking to each other, so there's some sort of familiarity with one another. What that familiarity is or how it came about, who knows? But not just that, but everyone's sort of talking. So Batman's talking to Oswald. Selena Kyle is with John Turturro, which, like you said, some people are assuming that it might be
like a father-daughter
situation that's going on. And obviously, Emo Batman looking as good as always. But yeah, we kind of assume that this might be the person who the Riddler kills in the trailer.
Yep, in the trailer. Yep.
So yeah, just seeing everything about it, seeing again, like we were talking about the world building, seeing the sort of Gotham City that Matt Reeves is creating. Everything when it comes from the style, because like Celine's got that hat, so the style, the architecture, the environment, just the feel, everything about it to me just feels so right. And yeah, Chicago has been used for Nolan's films, for BVS.
Yep.
So in a way, Chicago is more Gotham than like
than New York,
than Gotham. I was
right,
gonna say.
yeah.
But yeah, just everything about it, it just feels right. Everything about
it
just
does.
Feels right.
It does, and I love that. I'm a big fan of scenes where, like, you know, when you have large ensemble casts like the Batman's going to have, I just love scenes where everybody kind of comes together for whatever reason. And this looks like it's going to be one of those scenes where you just have like just all these actors interacting with one another.
And they're civvies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and
the
that's
dinner
just
scene
so
from
cool.
dinner scene from Ultron. You see all of them in their human clothes. What I talked about before with Titans, they do that a lot when it's just them around the back computer talking shop. And that just adds a sort of like humanity aspect, or right? Is that the right?
Yeah,
way?
it kind of brings them like more down to earth. They're not like these larger than life superheroes.
Exactly,
You know,
makes them a little bit more, makes them a little bit more relatable.
Right.
You can kind of identify with them a little bit more, and yeah, just seeing everything. It's like Reeves said. He's like, his Gotham City is gonna be Liverpool, and I get it because like we were talking about before, Liverpool has very interesting architecture, and it's by the river and by the sea. So just naturally you get this sort of cloudy environment, very cold, very wet, and it's just similar to Chicago because that's also by the water. And in around this time, like the fall and winter, it's very cloudy, and it just adds to that sort of that feel. That cold sort of environment, sort of mucky, grimy feel. And I've said this before. To me, this looks like a modern take on Tim Burton's world. Yeah, that's literally what it looks like.
It's a really good way to put it. Yeah,
in terms of the clothes, the some of the cars that we saw, just everything about it just feels like a throwback, but not really, but like a new take on it. And I just love this aesthetic that he's creating.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing was we got confirmation that Batman will be perched up on some high fucking building, just doing his thing, just brooding. And although the video looks like he's gonna leap off.
It looks like something's going on. Yeah, because he's just like almost like just there, like kind of gliding. So I don't know if they're going to visually affect him.
Which it might be because they had the one set photo where like the stunt guy was kind of up and he was cabled in and he kind of like leans forward but stops. So
but he's
maybe...
not even. But he's wearing like a from like Dark of the Moon, those like parasailing uniforms.
Oh yeah.
That's what he was like wearing.
Yeah,
it was like some like sort of plastic wrapped up trench coat.
Right, which was interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know if they're going to like CG that out.
Maybe, and we do know that obviously this is a year 2 Batman, so he's still kind of. Like everything he's making is makeshift, and it looks like it's like
which would be awesome.
Like made so maybe it is some sort of paragliding thing because he hasn't figured out how to do
the cape.
To do the cape yet? You know what I mean?
Put the cape in the pocket, right? Yeah, paraglide. Give me a second. Let me take this off. Put the thing on, and then we can get going. But yeah, I also love how Penguin's got some from what we saw. How he has some like henchmen around him.
Yes.
There's like people like it looks like when he was talking to Batman, to Bruce Wayne. It looked like some dude was kind of like pulling him, like kind of like, "Hey, Mr. Cobblepot, we got to go."
Right.
So again, what route they're gonna take with him? But clearly, he is. If he's at this if he is at this funeral, if he is with this sort of like bodyguard, so to speak, he is gonna be like an important figure.
Well, I think he's with Falcone. I think because like I remember reading about the Penguin's kind of role in this, and obviously they don't go into many details in terms of what he does with the plot, but just where he is kind of, he's not the Penguin yet, and he's I'm pretty sure he's kind of probably like an underling of Falcone. Like maybe he's like a boss, but he's obviously Falcone's like the big boss.
He's like his main guy.
He's like his main guy.
Like
you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Remember, you are my number one guy. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really fun to see. It's fun to get another perspective, another look at all these characters, at this world. I know we keep saying it, but yeah, this, I said it before, I'll say it again, I'll say it forever. Best Batman movie. This is going to be the best Batman movie.
I know. I think so too. The other thing I noticed too, I don't know, did you notice that they had, and I'm surprised they didn't see this get picked up anywhere. So that's why I'm curious if maybe it wasn't. Maybe the picture wasn't part of it, but I saw a picture of like a dressed down Paul Dano with long hair and glasses.
I thought you were gonna say a picture of Superman.
No, well, that was because they were doing some. I don't know what they're obviously like they're doing. We kind of figured they were playing up on Long Halloween, and that was kind of confirmed because they had a scene that they were shooting where they had all these extras in costumes.
Right, but that kind of goes to show that Superman exists in that world,
right,
or something.
Right,
it's really weird whether it's meta. Whether Superman is a comic book character, but regardless, you're saying somehow whether you're saying that Superman exists, the mythology or the idea of Superman exists somehow in this. Very similar to the flyers that were on in the Chicago set, and I'm not sure if this is true or not, but there were some pictures that were floating around
about the Flash.
Yes. So the Flash logo was also there. So. Again, we don't know if that's true or not. It could have been someone just photoshopped and put it up there, and this is just fucking with us.
Right.
But there is a possibility that some of these superheroes also exist. So they could potentially be planting the seeds in case they want to cross streams, bring them over, or something. Who knows?
Well, we do know this is a different Earth.
Exactly.
So maybe there is some sort of makeshift Justice League that's in Pattinson's world. Maybe that they'll touch on every now and then. But yeah, going back to Paul Dano, they showed a picture of him and he was dressed down, almost that he was kind of like lurking at this funeral.
Yeah, very Joker-esque.
Yeah, because they also showed a few, I guess, I would assume that they're Riddler henchmen because this one dude was wearing a jacket and had a question mark like painted on the back of it. So that shows that the Riddler has his own guys too, which is pretty awesome.
Right, which is also harnesses back to a lot of, like, you read Wars of Jokes and Riddles.
Yes, so good.
Yeah, so good. So I do like that idea of this this sort of boss Riddler with all these sort of underlying people, underlings or whatever below him. But yeah, obviously, because I feel like this scene is very it's not too far off from the scene that we got in the trailer when the car drives in and blows up.
Yeah,
or
right.
I believe that's
or it's like a van that comes in. Yeah,
because it comes out with the sign that's like for Batman or whatever, and he's wearing the same clothes, I believe. So yeah, it looks like a really up to some bullshit.
Oh, there's some shit going on. Yeah,
and I love Paul Dano. I think he's incredible, and yeah, he's gonna crush this role.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And then other than that, some of the videos that we got, like they're shooting chase scenes with the Batmobile. There was another scene where it was both Batman and Selena Kyle on bikes, and they were riding around. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, they could take their fucking time now since this movie got delayed to March of 2022, right. So they don't got to rush.
That Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne scene looks like it was the same scene that we saw very early on.
Yes, like when they first started shooting the Batman. Yeah,
right. The setting, it's very reminiscent to some earlier videos. So I believe that's probably like the same scene.
Right. So maybe they're finishing it.
Exactly, they're probably finishing it up. And then like you said, in Chicago, we got some like Selena action going through the streets.
Yes.
And then just more photos and videos of just like the Batsuit in action, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
We'll get it when we get it.
I know, but I can't wait for it.
I know,
can't wait for it.
I know.
All right, Nerds Nation, that does it for us. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube page. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else where you can see that big, beautiful FN logo. Anything else you want to say to the people, Martin?
Nope. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we look forward to bringing you guys some more shit.
Definitely. All right, guys, we will catch you on the next one.
Bye.